and welcome to SoulWhat, a Soultopia podcast with our producer, Matt Stoker. I am Michelle Welch.
And I'm Roger Welch. So what's up today, Michelle?
What? Look at all these books we have on the
right?
table. So you know that I'm in my happy place, right?
Yeah.
Or behind my happy place. All these books.
Got your books all around you there.
Yeah, so our subject tonight is about spell work.
And it worked because we actually started on time.
Yeah, Matt must have done a little
He put a little
magic.
spell together to get us on time today.
It's never worked until today.
He's perfected the spell, and now he's got just Megan is probably he's probably she's like now just make him get home on time, get him get out of there, and not talk him to death, right? So yeah, that's what we're gonna do because you have a class.
So yes, I have a class coming up this Friday night at 7:30.
Yep.
I usually book them, a couple hour class. However, last class we only was like an hour and a half. Just because they were, we kind of had our plan of what we're going to do, and we spent the rest of the time just talking about different things and different outcomes. And they left with protection bottle spells.
Oh, okay.
Mine's still in the truck, actually. I've had to put it in the truck, carried it around with me every day.
That truck's been very protected,
Yep.
and you
Yep.
too. Well, you've been in the truck a lot because
Yeah, I
we
have.
opened our Frisco store.
Yep.
And for those of you who haven't been there, it's actually really, really pretty. So you should go. Roger did almost everything. You did a great job.
Thank you.
And
Yeah, I mean, Emily came and helped. I had some guys come and help paint. That's all they did was paint, and then Michelle didn't like one of the rooms, so we had to repaint one of the rooms. And then, and actually, we had some areas that I still got to do some touch up on, but painting wise. And then Emily came and helped me do some shelving and some lighting and stuff like that. Yeah.
So that's Emily Waters, and then she does other handy. I think it's Handy M. Is that the name of her
that
business?
is not correct.
What is the name of her business? And then
I'll have to look it up.
everybody, at Soultopia helped in their own way because they kept the other Soultopia business going. I'm busy writing, and so I do still have strong opinions about how I want it to look.
Here we go.
But
All right.
but 1 second. But also the other people besides what we're about to say about her business is that Carlton. Shout out to specifically everybody at like I said, everybody at the different locations helped, Carrollton and Bishop, but specifically Carlton helped open up. Marissa.
Yep, Riley, son.
Riley.
Yep, they were there.
And
Which they were both working today up there, and they were still doing stuff and
and
getting things
then
together.
who else was really, because you did not this time, you opened it in about a month and did
Yeah.
not have specifically at the location on site a whole lot of help. Carla Nichols came and helped. Laura Pace came and helped to just stop by. I think they just really wanted to see everything, and
They
then
were
they
being
ended
nosy.
up. We put them to work.
Yeah, they were just being nosy and like,
So,
what's going
Roger
on over
pretty
here?
much, and if we left anybody out, but like I said, everybody's doing they're doing their jobs and keeping the rest of Soultopia together while you were.
Yep. Well,
doing
I was
it all.
out of pocket for a month.
So what's the name of Emily's business?
Oh, it's called the Handy Woman DFW. That's her page on actual on Facebook. The Handy Woman DFW. And like even this week, we have a bedroom. I wanted to change the flooring out to put wood flooring in. She's gonna come over and do that. I'm gonna have everything ready and prepped, and she's just coming out and knocking it out for me. So
Okay, make sure I know what day that is.
Thursday.
Okay, because
Thursday.
I'm about to be a grandmother on I think
Thursday.
Thursday. So
7 pounds 2 ounces.
I
That's my prediction.
believe
We doing predictions on that?
I think that baby already weighs more than that.
I'm 7 pounds 2 ounces.
No, I think it's already like 7.
I'm gonna be 2 ounces over or under somewhere or another.
You're way under already, I think.
All right, we'll see.
Okay, that's what I think they're inducing. But yeah, so we'll be grandparents probably by Thursday of this week. So that's great news. And so we're going to get back to our topic.
We have a topic.
Our topic is spell. Yeah, we actually have a topic. And so all these books are different types of. The thing about that I've noticed because of reading is that when you're looking to buy, let's just talk a little bit about buying a book on spells. it's like kind of buying a recipe book. Like if you really want, let's say you're the kind of cook or kind of person who you just want to know the idea behind it. Well, you want to get that kind of book. Like the idea behind barbecuing, right? But you don't want somebody to tell you step A, go get this, and step 2, go get this. But then so there's a bunch of different kinds of books.
Yep.
And then there's books that actually have recipes. They're going to tell you spells. They're really going to tell you for this, like if you want to manifest a new job, get this. So do y'all
Like
get
this
what I'm
one.
saying? Yeah. And
Yeah, just like this. 1,001 spells.
I like to read about the history of things, and then I just like to do. I want a really easy, simple book if I'm going to do, because I'm not going to spend. Let's just say it this way: if I don't cook, and there's different kinds of spell work too, so it's not just the kind that is like kitchen witch. But I'm using it as an example. If I have to gather up 20 things to do a spell, there's a pretty good chance by about thing 4, I've already like changed my topic and I'm on to something else. Okay. So I would rather just manifest that in my mind. But if you like all that, then you want to look for a book that tells you all those things. Or you might like the type of book that explains, like, I think we're all out of Scott Cunningham's Encyclopedia of Herbs and stuff, but that's been around forever and sold like they always say over 300,000 copies sold. By now it's got to be way more than that, because that said that forever. But we always carry even like Blackthorn's Botanical Magic. These are all from our house, and because right now we're low on books and reordering. So you want to look, as far as looking at all these books in front of us, because it's the same thing with any kind of like crystal book. I'll like have one book where it'll tell me this is where the history of the crystal, and another book will tell me how the crystal's formed, and another book will tell me what it's really good for, and another book will tell me the zodiac. And I want one book that tells me everything, right? Or for me, I want one book that explains it. Roger, on the other hand, what do you like? And when you're looking, I started with books because they're just all right in front of me. So I was just wanted y'all to know when you're looking for that type of book.
Yeah, so I mean, I like kind of a combination of the two, because I do like, like a book like Madame Pamita's here, where it's not a recipe book, and it empowers you on creating your own spell work and how to do it, and the things that actually work with it. So I do like that. But then I do like another book that might be like the Blackthorn book, where it maybe give you kind of an outline, but even like Scott Cunningham's book, where it actually will give you kind of like, well, this herb can help with this, this, and this, so that when you are doing, the kind of putting your own spell together, you actually know what works well together and what works well for your outcome that you're looking for.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah, that's what I like.
So, and first of all, can I see Madame Pamita's book? We're out. We just ordered more of these. We've had her on the show. I love this book. It's not. This book's only $18.99. It's in hardback, which I think is a really good price for that. And it's
a good looking book.
It's really pretty, and she knows her stuff. So she is not just somebody who has decided to write a book. So when you're talking about spell work, there's also all different methods. So we've done a lot of different shows on different types of beliefs, different types of witchcraft, whatever you want to call it, whatever, setting intentions, right, Roger? So whatever you want to call that, we've done different shows on that. We don't have time to do all that.
No.
What we're talking about specifically is spell work. For me, what that is setting an intention, what I just said. Different people are going to have different ways they want to do that. Some people really, but the more energy you put into something, I think most of us would agree that the more energy we put into something, the more probably energy it's going to have. So if I really, now some people will say write down an intention and then just forget about it.
Yep.
I don't totally agree with that. So that's a different subject because I believe I'm putting my energy, the more energy I am putting into, and I'm doing like this because this is how I move energy and talk about in my book, but it's just literally thinking about it and doing it with my mind. But it's got to be what kind of person, what you like and what you'll follow through with. If you're going to use candle magic or spell work, or if you want to use oils, or if you want to use herbs, if you want to use crystals, if you want to use just pure alchemy of thought, and it's you. So that's the thing with spell work. And I'm not trying to give you a master class in 40 minutes, an hour show on this at all. I'm just saying, don't ever the books aren't meant to overwhelm you. It's showing you that there's something for everybody. So, like this one's called The Ancient Magic of Trees. And there's animal magic.
Got it over here. Dog magic.
Dog
Right
magic.
here. Dog magic.
And so, I
Wonder
think
what
that
type of magic I can do with Thor and Loki.
maybe get Thor to not jump on the table.
You know what he did? He went outside the other day and jumped right on the table outside. What are you doing jumping on the table outside? It literally ran right out the door and on the table.
Let's ask the resident master here of animals. Is Matt, what do you think he's doing? Is he showing his ownership of his?
I suppose that could be. I mean, my dog Logan likes to get on the coffee table, but I think it's just an easy, like the couch is up near the coffee table, so he just, instead of jumping down, he just steps across and goes across that way. But yeah, I don't know. It could be some sort of ownership or territory thing. Who
How
knows?
is
Or just
Logan?
wants to be. He's all right. He's doing all right. He has to. He's having to wear like a little diaper now because he has some accidents every now and then.
Yeah.
But he's still doing fine. He gets around just fine.
Oh.
Sleeps most of the day, but he's doing all right.
He's so sweet. I like Logan.
I assumed he jumped on the tables just so he could get up a little higher to see things.
So Roger,
Could be that.
Yeah. But so there's books. There's a horse magic book that came out from Luella, and I think at the same time my book came out.
Yeah.
So when we're talking about spell work, what types of classes have you done? I mean, I know you've done some candle stuff.
We have done candles, and I've pulled a couple of candles and things like that. So we have done candle classes. I think candles are a really easy one to work with too, especially because you can be very beginner with it, and you can get very advanced with it very easily too. Make it really great.
What would be an example of that? Just like if you're really beginner, like what would you
if you're
say?
really a beginner, I mean, you could do something as simple as like one of these 7-day jars like this. And I tell people, you can use Sharpies to write on it, like you were talking about your intentions, right? Instead of putting it on a piece of paper, you can literally take a Sharpie. You could do, the paint markers, anything like that, and you can write that intention directly on the glass. So your intention is right there in the candle, ready to go. And you can decorate it up as much as you want to, or keep it as simple as you want to also. And then you can always add in like the oils and the herbs or anything else inside it that goes along with that intention that you're trying to create.
Right, and that's where you would resource. You could Google it, obviously. Find somebody a site you trust to find out what herbs or oils, essential oils, would be good for that.
Yeah.
And we have the affordable oils because
Which are these right here.
these right here that you'd want to use. You're not going to use the oils that are ingestible. You don't need to use those. The
No.
ones that are for. And I don't know that any oils are really that, but some of them will say you can put them in the little veggie caps and take them. But that's when you want to use your little all your reference books and know where you're going. Your favorite book for what or essential oil, like cinnamon, will make things. That's passion. That's fire. And you're dealing with fire, the element of fire. It's going to make it go even faster.
Yeah,
right?
and that's actually funny you said, because I grabbed cinnamon because of that. Because the thing, once you get more advanced and you're like, I want to make this one work a little bit faster, you can throw a little cinnamon oil, or even just go to your pantry and grab a little cinnamon out and just take a pinch of cinnamon powder and drop into your candle. It works great.
So a lot of this stuff, obviously, you have at home. I mean, and when it all started, people weren't coming into Soultopia. Now come into Soultopia, one of the three, please, or go online. But no, a lot of this stuff you're going to have at home.
Definitely so.
But how would it be more advanced?
Probably it would be more advanced if you were adding, say, pictures with it. Like if you were doing something that was more like for a love spell. Okay, and maybe you're adding a picture or adding crystals in with it. I would never, well, if you put a large crystal in the candle, just as a bystander, guys, if you put a large crystal in there, it could get hot and crack the glass. I'd set the crystal to the outside of the candle. That way the energy's still there. So, there's things like that. So if you're doing, say you were doing a spell for happiness, right? Using an orange candle like this, you throw some cinnamon in there, maybe the red clovers over here in there. And I'm not talking about packing it full, just just a little bit, and maybe then some cinnamon oil. But what crystal could you put on the outside, for a happiness?
A citrine would
There
be
you
great.
go. See,
Yeah.
so you could easily do something like that, and then you could get, as I was talking about, writing your intentions on there. Well, you might draw a picture that is something that makes you happy. If you think about it, what makes you happy, and add that in with it.
So
And
it's not
start setting out those types of, and that you're just adding a little bit of a layer to that.
that's what you're talking about is the layering. So it's not necessarily that you're more advanced in what
No.
your knowledge. It's just that you're taking more, you're adding more steps to it.
Exactly, because you're taking it from being just a candle to adding in the intentions, maybe a picture with it, your herbs, your oils, and maybe you even focus on it because these are called 7-day candles. Now, some people will actually light those candles and let them burn till they burn out, which is probably like 3 to 4 days. give or take.
Depends on how
Depends.
fast they burn.
Yeah,
And the
'cause-
intention.
yeah.
Yeah. I've had them
But
go
some people
fast.
will literally let them burn for a few hours a day for 7 days, and that 7th day let it burn all the way through.
Right. So so that's one kind is candle magic, and I find that to be pretty easy. I mean, this to me is when I really need something. That's why Roger hides the candles at the house, and I'm like, well, I do have a key to the store or one of those 3 stores, but
Come home, she's got 10
usually
candles
when I want the
burning.
candle is.
She's got my name on 9 of them.
I'm mad about something, so that's usually why the candles are hit. But so don't do like Michelle on that. But let's say we were wanting, what would be something else, another modality, let's call it that, a means we could use to draw in money
Yeah, and that was a
besides
great one.
candles.
So there's a couple of really good ways of doing that besides candles. One I like also is grist bags, mojo bags, right? So I did not grab one, but you can grab like a small, like a 1.5 by 1.5 or 2 by 2 little bag, like a solid
4
bag.
by 4.
No, 4x4. Yeah, you could get 4x4. Yeah, pack it full. Or you could even get just a piece of cloth. Okay, and you would add things back to like our herbs we're talking about, right? So you could add things like pine needles, money, right? So pine needles work. Anything like that. We also have these. Did I grab one? I thought I did. We have these little mixes, like they're pre-mixed herbs, like quick money. Okay, so it's called quick money. And so that already has kind of a blend of different herbs in there. You can just put those in your bag or in that cloth. Back to crystals, you could add crystals into it. We know, pyrite's good, green aventurine, jade, citrine. Those are great crystals.
Anything green or gold.
Yeah, put those in there with it. You can even write an intention, and you could write it on a little piece of paper, fold it. Talk about that now. Folding that paper.
Okay, so unfolding the paper, and there's a way, if you want to draw something to you, you're going to fold it towards you. And usually we do it in odd numbers. And we won't go all into that because it's going to be a class, but just you would do it and usually 3 or 5, depending on the side of this paper. Same if you poke holes with like a skewer, is that the
Yep.
thing? In your candles, do like 1, 3, or I don't think there's even room for 5. And you want to go straight down. That's why you want the good candles, not the ones from the dollar store. No offense, dollar store. But because you're going to be poking and you don't want to poke that wick. But back to the paper. You write your intention very clearly. And when I say very clearly, I think people obsess about that too much because you could just write forever. I mean, you could, if you really want to be very clearly, you could be disclaiming and writing forever. So you really just want to say, and you could say, or better, or for my best, and highest good at the end of it, because you might have not thought of every possibility. And then you fold it, if you're drawing something in, you fold it toward you.
So bringing that money in,
Bring
fold
it
it towards
to you. If you want to get rid of something, like I want the, Matt had an issue with some critters in his. Matt, I'm talking about you. Are you okay?
I'm
with
good.
it? Yeah. So did you or the rats ever win?
I think we won.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we ultimately won out on that one.
So
I haven't seen them again, so that's good.
So you won.
Yeah.
So Matt would fold the paper away because he wants the critters to leave, right? So he would write his intention down
Yep.
that they leave, and whatever he wants to happen to those, go to the neighbor's house.
Yeah, they can just go somewhere else.
No,
as
maybe
far as
go
I'm
like
concerned.
3 doors down.
Yeah, go a street over. Or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go to the woods. Go to the creek. But you fold that away from you because you're wanting it to go. And then you can even do it on certain, if you can go with the moon with it, as if you want to get really complicated, you can do these on certain days. Now, I want to tell you how I feel about that. That's why we get the almanac, and I didn't bring one in here, but you get, and you want to get that like a year. I just ordered the
22.
22 Llewellyn almanacs. You want to, and astrology plus all the dates. You want to, and the moon and all. You want all those almanacs if you really want to be specific about when the moon's waning, waxing, full moon, new moon. Because there might be certain times you want to get that specific, or you might want to do it on a certain day,
Got
on a
full moon tonight, don't we?
Sunday, or on a Monday. What?
Full moon tonight.
Full moon tonight. So, and that's a perfect time that people think that's when they, things are stronger. I will tell you how I feel about that. That puts a lot of pressure on me to feel like, oh, I didn't do it then, so now I've got to wait a whole nother time to do it. So I just do it when I need to do it. And if I feel like, so really, as far as the ritual aspect of all of this, to me, I think you should be as ritualistic as you want to be.
Yeah.
As you feel you with spell work, as you want to be. And the more you do it, the more you might add those layers, as you said, of advanced. But that was a lot about paper.
Yeah.
I talked way too long on that.
No, it's okay.
So,
But that's it's a good way to do it and everything. And and one thing though that I meant to say actually as we started, because a lot of times people will spell work, I'm not so sure about that. And I always start my classes by asking anybody, have you ever done spell work? Matt, you ever done spell work? Really and truly now.
I don't think I've ever done anything like light a candle, but I feel like that definition could be expanded to encompass a lot of different
He's
things,
smart.
right?
He's figured it out.
Yeah.
He's
So,
smart.
the thing
he
is,
knows
Like
where
everybody
you're, he
has
knows
in
where you're
some
going.
way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because everybody's had a birthday and they blew their candles out on their birthday
yeah,
and
yeah.
made a wish, which is really nothing more than a very simple
I've held
style
on
of
to
spell.
fortune cookie papers for a long time.
How about the
Yeah.
you get the wishbone from the turkey at Thanksgiving, and you and your cousins are fighting over it of who gets to split it under the table.
that.
Never done that?
No.
Oh yeah, you done that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, break the
Heard it.
Yeah,
wishbone.
whoever gets the
Never
bigger piece.
Yeah, and so who gets the bigger piece.
Pick
and
up
that-
pick up pennies and carry them around. Like I've done,
Right.
I've done
Yeah.
all that stuff. Yeah.
And a lot of that stuff that people don't realize is it all goes back to the spell part of it. I mean, those are very old traditional type things. That is a very traditional spell of luck, good fortune, and things like that too.
Right.
You
Good
know.
note.
Yeah.
One of the things when you were talking about the paper, I thought about it, and I don't know if you brought any of the cloves in here.
The red clove?
The
Or which one?
Am
Oh,
I-
clove oil.
No. Am I thinking about no, not clove. I misspoke. Bay leaves.
Oh, bay leaves. Yeah,
I
yeah,
was misspeaking. Bay leaves. Y'all know what bay leaves are for cooking.
Mm-hmm.
You get the bay leaves, not crunched up, just the full bay leaf, and you can write something on that.
My favorite, simplest spell work right there. That's it. If you want, the very simplest one,
explain it.
because you can literally take a bay leaf, just a full bay leaf, and we actually package them 5 in a little bag and sell them here all day. We sell
We're
it
constantly.
constantly rebagging those things. But the thing is you can write something on there as simple as, money or love or something that just
Get
that
me.
simple.
I want the job.
Or yeah, I want the job. You can literally write it down with a Sharpie, and you set your intentions in that bay leaf, and then just burn that bay leaf, and you'll see that smoke, take off. It's kind of a black smoke, and it'll take off, and it's releasing that into the universe for you. Honestly, it is one of the simplest, easiest, and I love this.
It's really, really easy. And you can, if you don't burn it right then, if you want to put it in, in your candle or just write it and make it as part of another, you can have an ongoing spell. Like if you do a grid with crystals and then you have pictures and, a candle that you're using with it, different things, then, sometimes spells are short, sometimes they're long. It depends. So that's a good question.
And
Roger,
it's a great way,
go ahead.
too, also to layer into other spells that you're working with.
Yeah. It's because, it's really easy with all this to get overwhelmed and you think you need all this. Absolutely not. Look at that. You could even use a sheet of paper to do it. You have one sheet of paper and a candle and do what I was talking about, rolling it away from you, rolling it towards you. I remember telling my son Tyler when he was in San Francisco, he was really wanting to release something. And he asked me, I just can't. And I said, I need you to write it down. But then I realized it was right when they have the forest fires really, really bad. And this is not, I'm not making light of it, but this was probably like 6 years ago. And I told him, and I want you to burn it. And then I was like, no, I want you to flush it down the toilet. I want you to rip it up and flush it down the toilet, just a little sheet of paper, because I thought, I don't want it on the news that Tyler started a fire, But that's something I wanted to, you struck on something, or somehow it came up about how do you know when to take down. People ask me this about a crystal grid, but how do you know when to take it down or when it's done? I mean, it's to me a pretty simple answer, but people do ask.
Yeah, they do. They ask, well, do I leave it up? Do I take it down? How do I dispose of it? Those types of things, right? So, really the thing is you really just, your spell should be very detailed in what you're wanting out of the spell, right?
Right.
So I'm looking for the job. Okay. Well, once you have the job, you have the job. The spell did its part. So now it's kind of time to take everything apart.
Right.
Now with that, you got a couple of ways you can do it. You could, some people believe just take it apart. It's fine. Some people believe you take all your spell, whatever's left over, whether it's the wax from the candle, herbs, whatever, and you bury it at a crossroads. Even some you may even take like white sage and your altar that you had, cleanse that altar space, and then you can dispose of your leftover, your residue, and then save your crystals for your next spell work.
Right.
Which personally is what I do. So I want to clear my space and everything, and clear the energy of what I was working with, and release that energy of the spell, release it out to the universe, and that it's complete and that it's finished.
My only issue with burying it, and I get it at a crossroads, but we've evolved. That's a really old tradition, and I don't know if tradition is the right word, but we'll use that word. As things have evolved, I just, for the environment, plus and don't be putting it, if you're not I've even heard bury it in the backyard or in between, in a side yard or something. I just don't want an animal to get something that,
Well,
dig
I don't
it
want the
up.
cops to show up and arrest my ass.
Okay, well, that would be good too.
What the hell are you doing over there,
you
son?
go. But,
Digging a hole.
so,
She's sitting in the car.
yeah. But when it's done, when to take it down when the work is done. What do you do if it's not working?
If it wasn't working, and what I like to do, first of all, I might try it, take it apart and redo it again. But at this point, let's say that's where I start probably layering a little bit more. And I would definitely add a white candle into it.
Why?
That white candle is a purification candle, and it actually kind of will open up that energy a little bit more.
Okay.
Same thing with like a candle. If you're doing like candle magic and you're burning, say, red candle for passion, and for some reason it's black down the side, you know there's something going on there. So you want to burn that candle again, do the same thing, but add a white candle next to it to actually kind of help open that.
Right. And so we're touching on all different, because our topic is spell work. There's like all kinds of stuff. There's water rituals. There's anything you can think of. There's all kinds. So we do have these classes and there's all kinds of cultural traditions of it. One big thing we want to say is we pay honor if it is from a different culture. We will tell the history of that, and Roger's very good about that. And we also will tell you ways, like the T-shirt. If you don't want to buy something from us, now when you pay for a class, they get the materials with the class, right?
Yeah, they just pay the class, show up, we're going to have some fun.
Yeah, but old T-shirts and flannel shirts and stuff, you can cut those up for those grist bags, and that grist, that's a word. That's a, you know, and what I'm
cuts
touching
up my
on,
cargo shorts.
What I won't cut up your cargo shorts. I want to, but I won't. I'm just waiting for them to come back around and come back in again. I'm not going to tell you what to wear. I keep staring at this book because Judith, she is like kind of Judica, excuse me, she is the author of the Encyclopedia of 5,000 Spells, and she is pretty much she's with Wiser. I don't know if she is the go-to person. She does a lot with Wiser books. I can show it this way if I want. Sorry about that, Matt.
This is definitely one of those books that has the recipes in it for you.
And she's got a whole bunch of books.
Yeah.
I mean, if you see, and you get to know the author, but she's known to be, very, very, very knowledgeable about everything we're talking about. So same with Pamita. And so you kind of want to know your author, but you just flip through a book and, go to the index, and I'm back to books because I love books. But let's talk about what I see in front of you, that little bucket.
Okay,
so it's so cute.
All right, these guys here, we put these together. So the nice thing about this is actually a love kit. So a lot of people were coming in here and they're like, hey, I want to get a kit, or not a kit, but I want to get some, I need to bring some love into my life. I need more love in my life, right? So we had the idea to put together these little kits. They're little clear paint buckets, plastic buckets, right? And in here, though, you've got the candles, you've got the herb blends, you've got the bath salts, you've got crystals in here, you've got, the blended sage for love. And on the bottom, it tells you red and white candle, purple haze sage bundle, rose quartz, green aventurine, love salt. So it tells you everything that's in there. As far as what
pretty
you're
popular.
Getting. So super popular. There was only 2 of these left back there.
Yeah. So Roger's been too busy to make like his incense, which is one of my favorite things. Is his incense that you just light it and God, it smells so good and burns forever. And the kits, they put those together though, but a lot of times there's a bunch of your stuff in it. Yeah. So we're going towards making a lot more of our own products, but we also have some really great people that we get our products from. So we've talked about candles, we've talked about help me here.
So here's another one. We talked about the candles, and we talked about doing grist bags and things like that. Here's another one. Like this one here is actually bath salts.
Yeah.
Okay, so this one's actually really cool because this is a blend of bath salts. So it's ready to go, other than I tell people make sure you have like organza bag or cheesecloth or something like that to put this in.
That's like really important.
Yeah, because this does have herbs in it, and it's, the salt will melt in the water. But these are 3-ounce bags, so you can, use like a third or half of it at a time. Put it in, organza bag. This is love. There's actually, I think there's lavender in here, and I believe there's chamomile.
Do you mean organza or do you mean like muslin?
The bags like we give out there.
Oh, you can't. That'll work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can do muslin too.
Sorry.
Anything like that.
Okay.
Just keeps it from the herb part getting down into the drains.
Okay. I didn't know if organza
so
would
you
work.
can do that, and also you could even do, because you could, some people you'll hear them talk about bath teas.
Right.
It's where they're putting their herbs and stuff. Well, you can also add crystals in here for love, maybe rhodochrosite, rhodonite, rose quartz, any of things, right? But we also sell the attract love herbs. You can do the same thing with these. If you don't want to do the baths with the salts, you can actually do this, and you just put it in one of the bags and put it in the hot water,
Right.
let it soak, and then kind of steep a little bit in the hot water, right? And then just jump in. So that's an easy way too. And the thing is that when you're in water, you're really connecting a lot more, with your intuition of things, basically to the universe of things. And so when you're there, you don't just want to throw it in the water and say, there it is, let's go, done. You want to be in the water, and you really want to think about the things that you're looking for. So if you were doing like I'm looking for love, and I'm going to sit in the bathtub with this, you might want to start thinking about how you envision that love to be,
Right.
because you throw it out there, it might end up having Sasquatch show up your door. Worked him in.
Yeah, you worked him in. You did.
Yeah.
Yeah, and every time you start talking about, I want to bring love into my life, I think, that's where an example where you want to be pretty specific, and it, another way people, I think, kind of do spell work is goal setting. It's in a way, that's what that is. You're putting an intention into it. A lot of people, and there you go. If you forget about it the minute you do, losing weight, whatever, working out, if you forget about it, you were walking away.
Yeah.
If you're asking for, okay, I'm going to stay disciplined, and you're asking for a little help from the powers that be, that whatever matters in your life, I'm not really stretching it. I think everything we do, in a way, and it's just a different way of looking at it. And it just got kind of labeled as a really scary thing. Now, do I think it can be serious? Absolutely. The love thing. You don't want all of a sudden a stalker, so you do want to be serious about what you're asking for,
Yeah.
right?
I had a stalker, and I ended up marrying her over here.
That's true.
But
little bit.
if you really think about it, guys, for those who work in like a corporate, situation, and when you have those corporate meetings, corporate sales meetings or training meetings or team building meetings, listen to the words they say. A lot of the keywords that they even use in the corporate world are the same words we use when we're talking about intuition and spell work, and a lot of those are kind of the same words, if you think about it.
Oh, no,
So
they are.
you talk about the team building, you're talking about, setting the goals and things like that. A lot of it's the same thing. It just crosses back and forth. And, for somebody who's not into our business, that's crazy. But they'll be there Monday morning. Let's go. Let's get it. Let's build it. what are we going to do this week?
And
We're setting our goals.
while you were doing both, it's really interesting because while you were still working in a corporate job and doing this at the same time, and we were growing this business, which is corporate too, it's still a business too, but it's a metaphysical type of business. You commented on that, how people don't realize how much they're doing it. I think we made that point. We were going to talk about. Well, did you have any other? You wanted
We
to
can talk about whatever you want to talk about.
so there's all kinds of spell work. What are you? Do you know yet what you're
No.
doing Friday night?
No.
Okay, that you'll be surprised.
Yeah, it's always good.
They always like it. So yeah,
Michelle says it's my arts and craft class.
yeah. Well, that's when those are the people who love those classes.
Yeah.
I think the one that you need to do again. I'm always saying this is making those pendulums. Where's is that? That's my favorite pendulum. Besides mine is yours.
Mine? Oh, it's at the
That's-
house.
Yeah, that
Yeah, it's
one
at the
you
house.
have. He is the coolest pendulum, y'all. If you've never seen his pendulum, ask to see it. So, we have a spell in my book.
Yep.
So, and I say we because Roger helped me write it. He helped me put together because, I was like, how do you want, not that I can't say this is how you do a spell, but do you want to,
You
do you
tell
want
us.
to walk? Let's
You walk
walk
us
through it a
through it.
little bit. Okay, so if you wanted to do, I've got to find it here for a second. So this is after, the book is about, y'all have heard of me talk about, it's about transmutation. So that's magic. That's spell work. There's a whole book is about that. I don't like this, or I do like this, and it's usually, I don't like this something, so I'm going to change it into something else. Okay, instead of just whining about it. And so, and believe me, I still whine about it too, but we want to try and change it. So it's chapter 15 in this book is 2 different spells, and we're going to do the short one clearly. If you want to grab that other book, you can look. It's in chapter 15, and of the magic of connection. And I titled it "We Are the Fire," and that's and the subtitle is of that chapter is "Candles and Spells for Transmutation." And I talk about the fact that candles are perfect to represent us clearing something through a cord. If I had an issue, and I don't think we ever had, but let's say Matt and I had an issue, then I could use a candle to not send anything. It's not like I'm sending anything bad to Matt. It's like, okay, I'm going to light this candle to try to clear up this cord of connection, so we can have some healing and communication. I might want a blue candle for the communication, right? That would, and or one if we're not, if we're not seeing eye to eye. And you can look in almost any of these books, but Madame Pamida's is a good one to look in for, like, what color to use. And we have that at the store too. So, but I go into it in my book too. I go through literally the colors, but I'm not doing like green is for bringing in money in my book. I'm doing green is for healing, nurturing, and love through the cord. Okay, it's a perfect go-to for any type of healing. And it's also connected with Archangel Raphael. I give you different things. And a good thing to think about is gold. And Lauren Morrison, that works here, also points this out a lot. And she reminds me, gold is great for all kinds of things, but it's also really good for money too, because we think of green as money, like the green, show me the green. But in gold, gold it's the gold standard, right? So gold is money too, and silver and stuff like that. So I go through the colors there's a gnat in here. And the exercise, we called them exercises all throughout the book. Roger, which one should we do? Show them the container spell or the candle spell for healing of cords?
Let's do the candle spell.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
whichever one, I don't care.
Okay. So if in my book, so you would figure out, first of all, it just says this spell helps you transmute energy by utilizing candles as tools to help with your intention. Isn't that what we've just been talking about? Okay. So you would get, and if you can show them, I know you're trying to look and see the comments, but a little bitty candle, this one,
Like this.
is a chime candle.
These
So
are
it
chime
says
candles
one
here.
chime candle of any color to represent you. So you're going to pick one that's going to represent yourself. And then you could choose whatever color based on maybe what's going on with you right there.
For me, the gold one.
The
gold standard.
The gold standard. And then one chime candle of any color to represent the other end of the cord. Okay? So the other, and it could be a memory that you're dealing with. It could be a job, whatever. And the book talks about all that. So you're going to got one for you, one for the other end of the cord, right? And then you want, you guys, there's this gnat that's just like after me. So I may have to, what does that have to do with the spell? I wonder. That gnat needs to go into it. One chime candle of any color to represent the healing and transmutation through the cord. And that's where I've given you all the different colors. Like you would use red for this type of healing, and that's in the book. And so that's 3 little chime candles. Not expensive or anything. Optional, you could have one black chime candle for protection. Okay? So another optional thing is you could get dressing for candles. Could you tell that it's really fast what that would mean?
So like a dressing for the candles, you would actually use the oils. Okay, so you would actually probably use something, depending on what the circumstances was, right? If it was like something that it was like love interest, you could use like cinnamon, ylang ylang, any of those type of love things, right? And you could even take some of the herbs. Once you coat the candle with the oil, you can actually put some of the herbs onto the candle itself also.
So that's how, and he teaches classes on that too, how to do that, and the different the direction you want to put the oil on it, all the specifics. So you're going to take the candle, and you can get the book, but I'm just going to go real quickly through it. Take the candle that represents you, that first candle, right, and carve your name in it. So with a knife, with Roger always says use a little
The easiest thing
Push
that I
pin.
found, especially for these chime candles, because they're so small, is just a push pin. Thumbtack with a little head on it, so you can actually use it as a pen and pencil and write into it.
and then you're going to set it to your left. And I should have brought these to show. You're going to set it to your left, and then take the candle that represents the other energy, whatever it is, candle 2, and carve the name or the situation. Let's say that we're doing it over a job that we are upset with somebody, okay, and we lost. So something happened with that job. So you could carve the name of the job in it. Maybe it's from a long time ago and you just still haven't gotten over it. Maybe it's from years ago, or maybe you didn't get that job and you never knew why, and you want to get over it, or whatever it is. Let's just say job. So you're going to take that candle and you're going to carve that, just the name or whatever it is that's really bothering you, into it, in candle 2, and that, so it can be anything. Set it to the right side, about 20 inches from the first candle. So just away from the first candle, right? And then take the third candle and carve your transmutation intention into the candle. So forgiveness, or you know what? Move on, Michelle. I don't want it in my mind anymore. Whatever it is. It's not, mine's not going to be, I want to send something bad to them. My transmutation is about, I'm wanting to change the energy of that cord. I don't want to feel icky every time I drive by. Let's say something happened at a courthouse that I used to work at, and every time I drive by that courthouse, I don't want to feel, or even jealous. I don't want to feel jealous anymore because I didn't get that and somebody got it over me. So maybe I'd write jealousy on that candle, right?
Right.
So, and then you're going to take that candle and write jealousy or whatever, or disappointment. And carve, but you want to write what you want to feel. So you want to feel freedom from that feeling, okay? And then place the third candle halfway between the first one and the second one, right? If you choose to use the black candle protection, place it next to candle 1. It's just for protection. Set your intention. We've already talked about that. And let the candles burn until they burn out, because they burn for about how long, Roger?
Oh, about 30 to 45 minutes.
Okay. And then I said, setting your intention and letting the candles burn, perform the transmutation. So you're just thinking about it taking place. You're going to let them do the work for you. You may stand and watch, or you can go about your business, but have the transmutation in the forefront of your thoughts. So in my opinion, you don't just say, it's done, I'm letting it go. No, I'm thinking about it. I'm saying, this is going to be transmuted and changed into something else, because transmutation is magic. So it is spell work. That is what transmutation is. So typically chime candles burn out, and we gave it a lot of leeway here, within an hour. Okay, so you're going to have time. If the candles have not completely burned themselves out within an hour, then snuff them out. That's a big thing. Don't, because that just blows the energy everywhere. Yep. You want to snuff them out. And then, and it scatters the energy. Repeat it until they've burned out. And of course, do not leave them unattended. This spell will bring more attention to the cord, right? So all of a sudden you're bringing energy back to it. So you may be going, why am I wanting to bring energy back to that? Because you've never forgotten about it, or you wouldn't have brought it up anyway. But your focus is already there. Or, I wrote that in the book, hey, funny, but your focus is already there, or you wouldn't be thinking of the transmutation process. Just be sure your intentions are for healing the cord. This is not only a powerful representation of the energy flowing through the cords, but is also the power of transmutation by fire. The other one in the book is more complicated, and it is a container spell, which is really, really cool. Yeah. And that's the one that Roger really helped me on. It's a really, really cool one in the book. But it's that simple. It's that simple. And that's, why would you need to do that versus visualizing it? Just because it gives it more, you put a little more effort into it and gives you something tangible to look at.
Yeah.
That's what I think about all of this stuff, is that we can do everything we do and we have in the store, we can do without needing, honestly, any of it. Mm-hmm. But to me, it just ramps up the energy when we work with when we work with fire, when we work with other elements, okay? And it also just for somebody like ADD like me, and I'm serious, it draws my attention to it. I have to pay attention to it. I have to focus on it.
Yeah, and one thing, because I will say, you were talking about this, a lot of people come in and they're like, oh, I want you to do this spell for me. They ask me to do like a candle spell. They want me to burn the candle and all that stuff. The reason that I don't do it, not worried about it or not worried that I can't do it, is that it's not my energy that I'm putting into the spell. It's not for me. It's for you. It's the person. That's why we put together these little kits, or we sell the little, the products that people can use to put it together. And we'll even kind of come to class and learn how to put that together and use your energy, because it's your energy that's behind it that actually makes all of this work.
Right.
Okay.
Same thing like we were talking about
Yeah.
before, the intention.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
I could burn you a candle all day long, but it's not the same energy that I'm putting in that you're going to put in.
Right.
That's why it's so important for you to kind of take ownership and take control of your own spell work and do your own things.
Yeah.
I'll help you set it up. I'll even do a candle for you, but you're the one that needs to go home and actually, process it.
Right. Right. And in it, I would say, your ethics are your ethics. Your moral compass is your moral compass, but you need to use. I can't tell you what your moral compass is. I do believe in karma coming back to me. Not everyone does believe in that. I do believe that what I put out is gonna what you reap, you sow. I mean, I believe in that. I believe in the golden rule. So I'm usually, that's why in my book I focus on doing the work for ourselves versus, because I focus way too much on other people anyway. I worry way too much. As an empath, I do way too much what somebody else thinks. Do they like me? How'd that go? Blah, blah, blah. And I need to be working on me. That doesn't mean I don't love helping people, but I don't need to be sending something bad to somebody else when I need to be dealing with my stuff first.
Yeah.
And so that's what the one thing I would say with spell work. You have to set your own parameters. People go, there's light, there's dark, there's whatever, magic. Look, there's that in every single thing in life, and I talk about that in the book. There is duality. So there lots of gray, because that everything, has whatever, a positive and negative. So when people get into all that judgment of what people are doing, it's wasting a lot of time, really, because when you look at energy, it's positive and there's negative. It's actually just different frequencies, and that's what you're looking at more than that. And I get really a little bit tired of people. It's what works for me might not work for you, and what works for you might not work for me, but we don't have to argue about it. I said this on Divine Jim Barker's show.
Yeah, today.
He's been on our show a couple times. The palmistry, he's so much more than that, but he's so great. Palmistry, I said, I really think it's time that people realize that their purpose may be different, but doesn't mean they have to always be arguing about it. And they may not be aligned on certain issues, and they may completely disagree on certain things, but that doesn't mean they have to argue. They may completely not agree on something, and that's okay. Sometimes there are some things worth arguing about, but I think that's the same with the magic and stuff, because why do we have to label it this or that? I mean, yeah, tell us if it's candle magic or whatever, but why do we have to decide, oh, that's crossing the line, and now that's getting into this kind of magic. That's not good magic. Or, oh, that's good magic because you're talking about angels. Well, how do you know? Because angels smite entire countries. I mean, right? Yep. So how are you sure of that? So there's my speech for the night. We should have a segment called
Michelle's Soapbox.
Michelle's Soapbox. There'd have to be about 20 of them.
Can you make a graphic, put on the screen next time she starts that? Put on there, make it splash. Michelle's Soapbox.
There could be music. Bum, bum, bum. Michelle's,
she's on that soapbox again.
How much time do we have?
8 minutes.
Okay.
No, not quite 8 minutes, because I forgot that clock's wrong. About 5.
But we started a little late.
5 minutes.
See, I'll do
No, we
whatever I
started
can
on
just
time.
to throw. Oh, we did
So we're
start
go-
on time.
First time ever
Ever,
in 2 years.
ever.
2 years, never started on time.
We got this deck in. It's called
Psychic reading cards.
Psychic Reading Cards. And I just opened it. And
So
I
we're
was
gonna
going
do a
to,
1-2.
well, no. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Sure. We don't have time for any readings, is what you're saying.
Yeah,
We
1,
talk
2.
too much. These are pretty cards, y'all. I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to show you one other deck that we got in. It's called the Field Tarot. It's a little muted in the colors, but we used it in Intuitive Insights the other night, which, by the way, is y'all start coming. We're not taking too many people, so you've got to sign up. I think we were full last time at both locations, and I'm not sure if I don't think we started Frisco yet, but we practiced the whole time. It was so good. And you opened this deck, and it's a really cool. I really like it. It's a really cool deck. All right, so I'm ready.
All right, we're going to do number 1, number 2. So all of y'all listening out there, get it in your mind, set your intentions for the best reading for you for the week, and pick either number 1 or number 2.
Okie dokie.
And Michelle's going to try to shuffle these new cards over here.
Well, they've been I just don't have space to shuffle, really, because of all the stuff over here.
Our bed looks like this a lot, actually, with all the books on it.
He'll
So
come
you should
in and he'll be
used
like
to it.
mad because I'm
We're-
writing and I'm like,
We got a king-size bed, and I have like 12 inches of space over there.
it's got all the books. But this is just like partial. And if one of my friends is out there and I don't have your book, I will tell you, I love Madame Pamita's book. Really, I'm going to say this really fast. This is what will get me in trouble. Judica's, I said, and I will tell you that Psychic Witch, which I think may be at the very bottom of one of these, it is a bestseller, and I really want him to come on the show. I think it's the bottom of this one. Anyway, it's a black and white cover. It's, you guys, if you want to learn about, here it is. Get this book. We're ordering it. We're out of it. It sells out every time we get in it. I'm telling you, get this book. If you want, if you're advanced in your work and stuff in your craft, well, I'd still say, because he's very advanced. He's like a rock star, and this is so. I kind of mirrored my exercises and stuff. I loved the layout of his book, and not the cover, just the cover, but the layout. And so, and my book was kind of done like that by Llewellyn because I love that book. Okay, it's Matt Arwen, Psychic Witch. Okay, It's just won a bunch of awards. All right, so you're doing number 1.
Okay, and do number 1s. While you're shuffling over there, shuffle.
I'm gonna break them in.
Yeah, so I got the beloved death card. So the thing, though, about death card is it's all about transformation, transmutation type stuff anyway. So think about this week, and use this week as an opportunity to, those things in your life that you're kind of, I don't want to deal with this anymore. And use the rest of this week to kind of move that and change it into something else, something that is actually a positive for you. That's what I get. Is that, there's certain things always around in our life that we just aren't happy with. We're not pleased with how it's going, how it's working. And take and change that energy. Move that energy into another place where you actually, where it is a pleasing energy for you, and transmute it into another way. Yeah.
That's what Jim today said.
Bob Michelle's
He
book.
said, I just have it in my slides in my show, in my classes, which made me feel really good. He goes, he just said, and now some of the readers will say, they just hold it up and go, just do this. And I'm like, it really is in there. If we would just start practicing it, me too, you guys. But you should promote stuff that you believe in. And I believe in what is in that book.
Yeah.
So, but what you're saying, you just transmute the stuff like we just talked
Transmute
about.
that shit.
Okay. Yeah, there's a chapter called that. All right. Number 2s You're going to get a card from the Psychic Reading Cards deck and from that other deck that I already showed you. All right. Okay. It's about ideas. It's about inspiration because the first card I drew, these are cool cards. It's Epiphany. I mean, come on, we can all read that, right? This is a light bulb moment. This is like, okay, I have a spark of an idea. So number 2's, whatever spark of an idea you have right now, and the card that I got with it is the Princess of Wands, which is basically your Page of Wands. And that's about creativity. That's about a spark of an idea. It's very similar, in my opinion, in energy to the Ace of Wands. It's a spark of an idea. It might be a little more beyond the Ace of Wands, but it says on this card, exploration. So these cards go perfectly together. Whatever idea it is that you have right now, I'd say run with it. It's time. So you have a really good idea and you keep thinking, I can't because I don't have the money for this, or I can't because I have to have all this stuff to do it. I hear this one a lot. I can't because I haven't made my business card yet. Well, do people even take business cards anymore? I'm not really 100% sure, but you can. So just do it. And so that's it.
Yeah.
That aha moment, that idea you have, that epiphany that just has come to you, do it for another number 2's, okay? And it's going to be something creative, a creative idea that you've had. It could be a business creative idea. It could be, but it's going to be a creative something that you want to do and have wanted to do. And I'm going to say, get started on it. That's it.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So Roger's class is Friday night at 7:30. Almost all the time our classes are 7:30, and we did it that way. They are a little bit late. That's not really late on a Friday night, but they're
Gives you time to go to
7:30
dinner and then
because
come in.
before COVID, and I think we're getting back to it, there was a lot of traffic in Dallas. And so it was very hard. Anybody who had classes at 7, I was always late because if I was at some meeting or in trial or board meeting, seriously, remember,
always
time
late.
ago, I was always like late because even if I was trying to go straight from one, you're going to be late because I don't know. I never got out of work at 6 or 6:30. So, or if you have dinner or something like that.
Yep.
So 7:30 to 9:30, you can sign up online. And I know we have all kinds of other stuff coming up, but the biggest thing I think we have coming up is just a bunch of classes, the opening of the Frisco location. You guys go check it out. It's not that far. If you're, depending on, well, I mean, if you live in Europe or something and you're listening, it might be that far.
It
But
could be a little far.
that might be.
You can shop online.
You can shop online. But no, it's a pretty store. And I'd love for you guys to go visit, just stop by. And just look. A lot of people ask, where do we find out about your stuff? Everywhere. I mean, where do we not? It's everywhere. So if you're on Facebook, if you're not, get on our newsletter. We only send out something once a week, sometimes a little more if there's something, a special person speaking or something like that. And yeah. And then other than that, next time we see you, I think we'll be grandparents.
Yep.
So other than that, that's it, I think, for tonight. I think we will actually end on time if I don't ramble. And so thank you. Come sign up for Roger's class and sign up for Intuitive Insights on Thursday night. And we really appreciate you joining us on SoulWhat, where we discuss matters that are important to our soul, and you get to discern and decide what is important to you. Good night.
Good night, guys.